Honourable Dr. Hubert A. Minnis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honourable Mr. Justice Sir Brian Murray, QC, Justice Ruby Ann Nottage, retired, esteemed panelists and participants, in my capacity as the Minister of Financial Services, Trade and Industry and Immigration, the ministry responsible for international commercial arbitration and other alternative dispute resolution processes, I wish to extend my sincere thanks to the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, for his remarks to formally open this symposium, Alternate Dispute Resolution and the Bahamas, Creating a New Course. I also wish to thank the Honourable Mr. Justice Sir Brian Murray, QC, for his participation in this symposium and giving us such a comprehensive overview of the work of the judiciary and the plans that the judiciary has to incorporate alternate dispute resolution mechanisms in its procedural rules to lead to more effective dispute resolution and management in the Bahamas. To the panelists who participated in today's panels on the role of industry stakeholders, legislative agenda and education, training and networking, on behalf of the ministry, I extend our gratitude for your support of today's symposium. Without your involvement, we would not have been able to have such a rich discussion on the status of ADR in the Bahamas and the relevance of ADR to the Bahamian business and legal community. In his opening remarks, the Most Honourable Prime Minister commented on the Bahamas charting a new course in alternate dispute resolution and reiterated the commitment of the government of the Bahamas in advancing the Bahamas as a leading center for international commercial arbitration and ADR. We hope that this event has emphasized the commitment and highlighted the strong strategic partnership between the ministry and various industry stakeholders in working together and working toward that goal, the Bahamas as a leading center for international commercial arbitration. It would be remiss of me if I did not thank the officers, members and staff of the Ministry of Financial Services, Trade and Industry and Immigration, namely the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Campbell. And in particular, I take this opportunity to highlight a phenomenal, highly intelligent young lady in the person of Consultant Theomony Nottage for her hard work, diligence, and commitment to bringing this project to fruition. This event is meant to bring awareness and to an extent to reintroduce the mandate of the ministry in relation to international commercial arbitration and ADR. We anticipate that this initiative to establish the Bahamas as a center for international commercial arbitration and other ADR processes will result in the following: the Bahamas becoming more attractive to international investors, improving the Bahamas' position as a leading offshore financial center, and the development of a new sub-industry that would ultimately positively, over the course of the next few years, it is the intention of the ministry to establish the Bahamas as an UNCITRAL model jurisdiction through the incorporation of the UNCITRAL model law by virtue of the International Commercial Arbitration Bill 2020, formerly International Commercial Arbitration Bill 2018, to create the government's policy that addresses its relationship with the PCA and whether it would consider a host country agreement, to reintroduce the International Commercial Arbitration Executive Council of the Bahamas, rebrand it as the Alternate Dispute Resolution Council and appoint its members, to organize education and training for international arbitration through partnership with industry stakeholders, to create government policy that addresses investment protection treaties and the possibility of investment protection legislation, and to market and promote the Bahamas for international arbitration through the assistance of BFSB and other industry stakeholders. Domestic arbitration. To revise the Arbitration Act 2009 to ensure that it is consistent with the rules of court procedures and provides clarity on the conduct of domestic arbitration. To encourage the use of domestic arbitration by local law firms, private banks, and other local commercial entities. To create a framework to support the establishment of a physical location for international arbitration and ADR in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Bahamas. International mediation. To create government policy on the Singapore Convention and ratify the convention, and to incorporate the Singapore Convention into domestic law by virtue of legislation. Domestic mediation. To draft and enact legislation that would support domestic mediation. Construction adjudication. To draft and enact legislation that would support construction adjudication. We recognize that we have planned our plans are ambitious, but we also consider that once it is accomplished, its effect will be transformative for the Bahamas both locally and internationally. We hope that after having participated in this symposium, you have not only learned more about ADR and the mandate of the ministry in relations to ADR, but also that you are motivated to become involved in ADR and to potential this jurisdiction as a leading center for ADR in this region. Again, we thank you for your time and your participation, and we look forward to continuing our work with your full support. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you again to our panelists and participants. Thank you for holding on almost 30 minutes over time. We really appreciate it considering everyone has a busy work day. We will again send follow-up emails to participants and panelists, and we hereby end this session, the ADR Symposium. Thank you again.